Shalom and good day. Y'all, it has been a challenge of trying to get this session recorded. So today is going to just be a brief lesson. It won't be the planned lesson that we have planned for today, but it would just be a brief lesson on what was discussed in the third numeral report. However, we want to be y'all a shalom. We first like to give honors to our Father in heaven, who is Yahuwah. He is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We also want to give honors to his son, Yahusha HaMashiach, for he is the Messiah, the anointed one, the second Adam. No, he's also the left, which is the door. He is the iron, which is the fountain of the living waters, and he is the eye of the body, or the light of the body. And we also want to give and we also want to give honors to the Ruach HaKodesh. She is known as the spirit of wisdom. She is the mother, because what's done in heaven is also done in earth. This is how we get the idea of having a mother, the same thing of us having a father and mother in the earth, because the idea came from the heavens. We have a father and mother in the heavens. And Torah will provide the testimony or witness of that unto you. So the Ruach HaKodesh is the spirit of wisdom, also known as the glory of Yah, the beauty of holiness, and the 7 eyes and 7 spirits of Yahuwah. We also like to bid a shalom to the bride of the Messiah, to the 144,000, and to the nation of Israel. So today we're doing a test run, because while I'm learning how to use this internet service provider that I have, and learning what are the weaknesses and what is the strong points. So this lesson probably will be short today. However, it will give you something to feast upon. But this is the Father Sabbath, Shabbat. This is the 7th-day rest. This is the day he has sanctified. And many don't understand what that means about sanctification. And this day is above the ordinary days. It's a difference. Don't get misled by the Roman Christians. In another tongue, you would say Roman Christianity, because that's where the word Christian comes from. It comes from the Greek word. There's no Hebrew word for Christian. Those who follow the Messiah, we would say Mashiachim, Nazarem, and which we translated into the English tongue, we would say Messianic Nazarene, but we do not have a Hebrew word for Christian. You can find that word in the Greek tongue, and it comes from the word Christianity, okay? So we follow the Messiah, the Mashiach, okay? So today we're going to look at the calendar, and bear with me. I'm going to learn how to use my cell phone for right now to do our calendar classes. Let me see here. So we're going to open the calendar up today. Okay. So one of the things I want to look at, because it's coming up very soon, and many people are not aware of the fast of the 3rd month. Now, those who have talked about the fast of the 3rd month, these are the Father witnesses. You can find it in, okay, before I say that one, you can find it in the work of Josephus. And this is dealing with the times when Pompey came to besiege Jerusalem, and also during the time of King Herod when he besieged Jerusalem. Because when you read Josephus' writings when it comes to Herod, you will learn that, yes, he was made king by the Romans, but he had to force it upon the Israelites, the Jews, also known as Judeans, okay? So it had to be forced. So he had to come and besiege the city, okay? And you will learn that the same time that he did that, go in line with the same time when Pompey came in and besieged Jerusalem. Nothing happened by coincidence. Everything happened for a reason. And it was on the same day, in the day of Baruch, during the time of the Babylonians, when, matter of fact, let's get our Bibles. Let me see, can I pull up the link first? I need to pull that link up for y'all. Oh, sorry about that. I clicking on the wrong thing, y'all. Trying to get, I tell you, Zoom just don't want to act right for me today. All right, come on. I didn't click that. Let me try again. All right. Let me stop the share on that one. But I am going to pull up the Bible. So bear with me on that one. Let's see here. We're going to go to the book of Baruch. And I'm going to pull what chapter it is. Thank goodness I got my Bible with me so we can find it faster. And then I'm going to put the link in and share. Because this is one of the most important biblical events that our Father wants us to remember as we keep this day of fast. Esther, Solomon, Ecclesiasticus. Here we go. We can go to Baruch chapter 1. Baruch chapter 1. Okay, I'm in the 1611. Let me get the link for y'all. Okay. All right, I found the link. Okay, here we go. Baruch chapter 1. It's very important that you read the whole chapter, but we're just going to look at the highlight of this chapter. Okay. And it says in this chapter summary, it said, Baruch wrote a book in Babylon. The Jews there wept at the reading of it. They sent money and the book to the brethren at Jerusalem. Now, that chapter summary you want to highlight because it's going to give you understanding about this fast and why we keep it. So it should not only remind you of the biblical event that took place during the time of the Babylonians, but also during the times of the Romans, dealing with Pompey and King Herod. So we're going to look at we're going to start with I guess we're just going to start with verse 1. And we're going to read down to verse, I would say, we probably start around 14. Okay. Baruch chapter 1, starting verse 1. And these are the words of the book which Baruch, the son of Nerius, the son of Masias, the son of S. I'm not going to try to say that word, y'all. The son of A, the son of C, wrote in Babylon. So this book was wrote in Babylon. Okay, Baruch wrote a book. And it was in the 5th year. So in the 5th year of the days, that was in what? In Babylon. And in the 7th day of the month, now later on as we read further down, it's going to identify what month, but in the 7th day of the month. So he wrote a book in the 7th day of this month, of that month. What time as the Chaldeans took Jerusalem and burned it with fire. Now, in some of the writings, you're going to see it'll rotate or not rotate. It'll say 7th day or 10th day but from the witnesses of the prophets and even the work of Josephus, it was confirmed that it was on the 10th day when they burned the temple. Okay, I'm talking about the temple now. I'm not talking about the city yet. But on the 10th day, that's when they burned the temple. Okay, so you might see some slight variation, but let us keep reading. Verse 3, and Baruch did read the words of this book in the hearing of Jeconias, the son of, I know it started J, I'm not going to try to say that word, who was king of Judah. So this is dealing with the southern kingdom. Okay, and in the ears of all the people that came to hear the book. So remember, all this took place in Babylon. It's very important that we see what the setting is and the place when he wrote this book and when he read it out to the king and to the people that was in Babylon. Verse 4, and in the hearing of the nobles of the king's son, and in the hearing of the elders, and of all the people from the lowest unto the highest, even of all them that dwelt at Babylon, by the river Sud. So this is confirming that all this took place in Babylon. Whereupon they wept, fast, and pray before the Most High. Now that verse you want to highlight, because as we read further down, it's going to give us understanding when all this took place. All right. So he wrote the book on the 7th day. That's a note you want to make to yourself. Okay. So let us keep reading. Whereupon they wept, fast, and prayed before the Most High. They made also a collection of money according to every man's power, and they sent it to Jerusalem unto J, the high priest, the son of C, son of Shalum, and to the priests, and to all the people which were found with him at Jerusalem. So they took all this money and they sent it back to Jerusalem, okay? Verse 8, at the same time, so this is in addition to this now, during that same time, this is in addition to this, at the same time, when he received the vessels of the house of Yahuwah that were carried out of the temple to return them into the land of Judah, the 10th day of the month of Sivan, namely silver vessels, which Sedexius, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, have made. Now, that verse you want to highlight because it's telling you at the time when they sent the money to the to Jerusalem, they also on that same day in Jerusalem, they received the vessels of the house of Yahuwah. And these vessels came out of the temple, y'all, but it was returned back. Okay, because here it identifying verse 8 is showing us that it was in the land of Judah. That's when the vessel came back where the temple is. And it was returned on what? The 10th day of the 3rd month, known as Sivan. Okay, and these were what? These silver vessels. Okay, and it's going to identify who made those vessels for the Most High. That's verse you want to highlight. We'll come back to that verse, verse 8. Okay. Verse 9. After that, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, had carried away Jeconias and the prince and the captives and the mighty men and the people of the land from Jerusalem and brought them unto Babylon. And they said, behold, we have sent you money to buy you burnt offerings and sin offerings and incense, and prepare ye manna and offer upon the altar of Yahuwah our God. Now that verse you want to highlight. Now you seeing what was the purpose of this money that they collected, that was sent out on the same day they received the vessels that was taken out of the temple, which is the house of Yahuwah. Okay. So now we're seeing what the purpose of that money is. The purpose of that money they sent was what? To buy burnt offerings and sin offerings and incense, and to what? To prepare manna so it can be offered unto the altar of Yahuwah. So they sent that money so these offerings can be presented unto our Father in heaven. Let us go on to read verse 11. And pray for the life of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. Now that verse you want to highlight because here, what we see, we have Israelites praying for a Gentile king. Now, I know there's some Israelites now turning over right now. But to understand this, you got to go back to Solomon's prayer. Solomon prayer, I think it's 2 Chronicles chapter 6. And then you understand why our people would pray for a Gentile king. But it even go deeper than that, you got to go back to Torah. And the Father now reminded me what he told to the prophet Daniel. Did he not say, I raise kings up and I bring them down? So whether they are Israelite or Gentile, we should pray for these kings, because guess what? Whether they are good or whether they are evil, Father's will still be done. Mysteries that many do not understand. They don't understand how our Father is still in control of all things, whether it's good or whether it's bad. This is why Joseph said, all things work out to the good of Yah. Mysteries. Okay. Like I said, these scriptures is helping us understand our Father's mind and how he does things. Okay. I'm checking the chapter now. I think it is 2 Chronicles. Yep, 2 Chronicles chapter 6. You will find the prayer of Solomon that he made unto the Father after he had completed building the temple or the house of Yahuwah. All right, let us keep going. So verse 11, and pray for the life of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and for the life of Balthazar, his son, that their days may be upon the earth as the days of heaven. So they pray for them to have long life. Verse 12, and Yahuwah will give us strength and lighten our eyes, and we shall live under the shadow of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, under the shadow of Balthazar, his son, and we shall serve them many days and find favor in their sight. See, they accepted the will of the Father. See, the Father told them, you can go into captivity for your disobedience. I'm saying this, I'm pointing this out so Israelites can understand. When the Father tells you to submit, to follow his will, do it. He have his reasons. He's teaching you something. He's teaching you a lesson. But many of us not learning from the lessons of our ancestors, nor are we learning of that lesson that he's given unto us now as we go out and walk in our Job through our trials and tribulations. Okay, let us keep reading. Verse 13, pray for us also unto Yahuwah our God, for we have sinned against Yahuwah our God, and unto this day the fury of Yahuwah and his wrath is not turned from us. And ye shall read this book which we have sent unto you to make a confession in the house of Yahuwah upon the feasts and solemn days. And ye shall say to Yahuwah our Elohim belongeth righteousness, but unto us the confusion of faces, as it is come to pass this day unto them of Judah, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and to our kings, and to our princes, and to our priests, and to our prophets, and to our fathers. For we have sinned before Yahuwah, and disobeyed him, and have not hearkened unto the voice of the Lord our God, Yahuwah, to walk in his commandments that he gave us openly. Since the day that Yahuwah brought our forefathers out of the land of Egypt unto this present day, we have been disobedient unto the Lord our Elohim, and we have been And we have been negligent in not hearing his voice. Are you listening, Israelites? I want y'all to hear this, O children of Yahusha, for the same is being now. We are not hearing his voice. We are doing his will. We are disobeying him. And you know what disobedience is compared to? Sorcery and witchcraft, which is the things that he would despise, which is abominable unto him. Here our people are taking accountability of their actions. Have you done that now? Oh, children of Yahusha. Let me keep reading one more thing. Let me just keep reading. Wherefore the evils cleave unto us, and the curse which Yahuwah appointed by Moshe his servant at the time that he brought our fathers out of the land of Egypt, to give us a land that flowed with milk and honey, like as it is to see this day. Nevertheless, we have not hearkened unto the voice of Yahuwah our Elohim. Do y'all hear that? They didn't hearken to his voice. They didn't take his warnings. Think about what they did to his prophets. According unto all the words of the prophets whom he sent unto us. But every man followed the imagination of his own wicked heart, to serve strange gods and to do evil in the sight of Yahuwah our Elohim. So when we have this fast on the 10th day, it is to remind you, Israelites and Gentiles, of what happened on that day with my ancestors. How they had to confess, hoping to what? Hoping to be forgiven from our Father in heaven. Hoping that he would accept them back. So on the 10th day, they sent money back to make an offering unto him, to put things back in order. Also on the 10th day, that's when the vessels of the house of the Lord was returned. And then they sent the book that Baruch wrote unto them for them to read, so they can too, those who are at Yahushua too, can confess the sins and the transgressions they made. Okay. Let me pull up the calendar so you have the date of this fast right quick. Wish me luck on this one. Okay. So now we're in the calendar. So here are the, make sure I got the right one. No, I haven't listed the scriptures from the work of Josephus. So I have to come back and add that. Forgive me on that. I'm still working on that part. But the 10th day fast will fall on, we're in the 3rd month of the Most High calendar. Will fall on the heathen day, which is June the 20th to June the 21st, from sundown to sundown. And this is the same day this year that the sun will enter into the 4th sign of Maswah, known as, the Gentile call it Cancer. Okay. And this is the day when you will have daylight being longer than night. Daylight would be 12 parts and night would be about 6 parts. But remember, the earth is no longer aligned with the heavens. So therefore, you can have 14 hours and so many extra minutes. At night, you can have about 9 hours and so many extra minutes. For example, if you have 14 hours and 10 minutes of daylight, Therefore, you will have 9 hours and 50 minutes of night. Okay. And this is the day, which is the last day of the sun's third month. Very important to know this sign and to understand what this sign is telling you. It's telling you this is the last day of the sun's third month. And this year, the third month will have 31 days. So on day 11 of Sivan, okay, which means that covering, on day 11 will be your first day of summer. But on day 10 will be your last day of spring. I just love how the Father give all these signs. Okay. So that's something to prepare, because far as the heathens there, like I say, we're on a Shabbat, and the date of the heathens is June the 19th. They call this day Saturday. When you translate it back to the Latin's tongue, it's Saturday Day. Has nothing to do when you do word transliteration to Sabbath, because the correct Latin word for Sabbath in their tongue is Sabbaton. Sabbaton. It is not Saturday. It is Sabbaton. Very important to know. Okay. So that's something to keep in mind and to think about. So right now we're still in the first week of his calendar month. Okay. We start from June the 18th to June the 19th, from sundown to sundown. And today is the 7th complete Sabbath. The 7 of the 7 Sabbaths will count towards Pentecost. And now when this day complete, we will begin to count for the 50 days. Remember the book of Leviticus chapter 23. There is an and, okay? There is an and in that. All right. Let me see what else. So this will conclude this short lesson. Come back to the calendar when I can add the other scriptures from the work of Josephus so you can read about this day. Okay. So that way you will have that to study. Now, how to keep a fast. There are 2 ways to keep a fast, and the calendar lists all the scriptures about the fast. Okay. Go to the calendar, all the information is there. There's 2 ways to keep this fast. You can keep a physical fast if the Spirit leads you in that direction, but there is another type of fast that is pleasing unto Yahuwah. And this fast is dealing with purifying your heart. And the prophet Isaiah talks about this fast in Isaiah chapter 58. So whatever fast that the Spirit leads you to, either if it's for restraining yourself from things of delight, such as food, water, and drinks, or dealing with the fast that is pleasing unto Yah, that will purify your heart, get your heart lined with him, in Isaiah 58, then do what the Spirit leads you to do. Okay. If you are new or a babe at this, I recommend that you start small. Give us something that you love. Like you might say, well, I love desserts. I won't eat anything sweet on that day. Start there. Or for some who don't have the endurance to do a fast all day, start with a half a day. In other words, build yourself up to that point, because fasting is very important when you're dealing with spiritual things, when you have to go and fight spiritually. So you do want to start training yourself on how to fast the physical way. The other fast that is pleasing unto Yah, again, allow the spirit of wisdom. I'm sorry, let me back that up. Allow the spirit of Yah, the comforter, who will bring them to abide in you, to lead you and guide you on knowing whom to help. Because remember, we are in the world of darkness. You need to be safe. You need to be careful, because these children of Satan know our hearts. They know we don't want to see no one homeless, hungry, naked, or lacking, in any essential need. So they know this, so they'll play on you. So allow the Spirit of Yah to lead you and guide you on whom to help and how to do it. Because remember, we are sheep among wolves. All right, this concludes this short lesson today. Hopefully next week we can get back on track. We're gonna look at the darkness that took place upon the cross when the Messiah was on the cross, and the darkness came across upon the earth from the 6th hour to the night hour. Okay. And when you translate from Hebrew to modern day times, it happened in the 12 o'clock hour to end it within the 3 p.m. hour. And the reason why I say within, remember, Hebrews didn't have minutes or seconds. They only went by the hour. So that's very important to know. You'll see why as we go through this calendar, as we learn it, and also as we look at the timeline creation, even to the time after Adam, you're going to see why all this is important to know this when you are pinpointing things or putting things together. All right, my brothers and sisters, continue to preach that the kingdom of heaven is at hand, for it's truly at hand. Make sure the people receive salvation as read in Romans chapter 10. And make sure you follow the example that the Lamb set for you for the water baptism and for the Holy Spirit baptism. The Father made it very simple. So if you have no one to baptize you, you can do it yourself. Wherever there's water, you can be baptized. For the water is the second witnesses in the earth, just like his heaven is a witness unto him, and his earth is a witness unto him. Far as with the Holy Spirit baptism, that is simple too. All you have to do is ask in the name of Yahusha Mashiach, and the Father will give it unto you according to your heart, your faith, and work. Remember, Father knows best, because his ultimate goal is to save your soul. Because when you understand the end and what's coming, trust me, you don't want to go there. You don't want to go where he gonna bound the angels at, and to suffer day and night, and to experience an everlasting pain that will never end. You don't want to go there. But if you're wicked, you will go to that place of captivity. All right. Love you all, and shalom.